Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Crossover Pod. My name is Gabe.
I'm Nick.
Let's get into today's video. Today we'll be talking about the NFL trades and teams that we think are sleepers, teams we think are gonna fall off, and just teams we think are gonna be okay. I'll let you start off with this one.
All right. Well, do you want to start off, I guess, with the trade that just happened with Pittsburgh and Miami, and then we can kind of get into the other stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I know you really like the trade for Pittsburgh.
I
For
wouldn't say
me,
really like. I feel like it's just like a win now type of thing because their corners they were okay, but I feel like that helps them out, especially with the division that they're in, because they needed someone to guard Jamar Chase because it's like Miko was a good safety, but he wasn't the guy defending him, you know? I still think for the future that wasn't a good trade, but as of right now, if Jalen Ramsey could stay healthy, that was a good trade.
yeah. I mean, I just feel like we all kind of knew Jalen Ramsey wanted to wasn't going to be in Miami long term. They were already trying to ship him out. But for him to still catch that type of price, like Minka Fitzpatrick, Minka was like a dude who did everything on the Steelers defense. He played like everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, so I just feel like maybe Pittsburgh could have gotten Ramsey just for cheaper. But it's not that I hate it for them. They definitely need corners over there. Like you said, they're in a really tough division. Um, so having Jalen Ramsey does help, especially when you're facing superstars like Jamar Chase. He's just older now and he's still kind of injury prone, but when he is healthy, he's like top five, top three, even corner in the league. So I don't hate it for them. Miami, on the other hand, I don't know where they're going. They had a really rough off season. I feel like they're kind of going downhill. But getting Fitzpatrick, I think, is a plus. He's like I said, a do-it-all safety. So I like it a lot for them. And they also, I think, they just got Darren Waller coming out of retirement. I don't know why. Like this dude comes out of retirement to play for like a pretty bad team going into the season. So I don't
Yeah. I
know.
think the Dolphins are the worst team in the division. I don't think like I think the Jets are gonna be better than them, the Pats gonna be better than them, and the Bills are better than them. So it's like I don't know. I'm not, Tua's in my opinion, he's ass. He's always injured. He can't. And like Tyreek, there's always drama with something. Their running back is always hurt. Defense is always hurt. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't see why they did that trade because it's like I don't know.
I don't really think it moves the needle for them. It keeps them at like the same place that they were gonna be at heading into the season. Like you said, there's always gonna be something going on with Tyreek Hill. He wanted to leave. Now he's saying like, "Oh no, I'm committed." Tua's always getting hurt, getting concussions, and I'm not making fun of him. It's just he gets hurt a lot. And they just didn't really look good last season either. You could see the decline happening in real time. So yeah, I love the player in Minka Fitzpatrick, but for a move for the team, I don't think it's really going to help them all too much. I think they're going to be battling with the Jets for worst in the division. Um, they're like one injury away from being like the worst in the league at this point. Like they don't have a great defense. Everyone on offense always gets hurt, or there's some drama going on. And I feel like that's the price you pay being a Miami team. We talk about these types of things a lot when you're like a city who's like high in free agency like value, bringing guys in. Teams like LA and Miami and New York, you get a lot of superstars, but at the same time, you get a ton of drama, and
Yeah.
that's it's a double-edged sword. So I feel like that's kind of what happens a lot with teams like Miami is, it never goes well. It's always going to end in, disaster.
I feel like Miami should have drafted a quarterback in this draft class, especially like I don't know what they were doing. I don't see Tua being their long-term quarterback. They still believe in him. If this man gets injured one more time, it's like they're done. They're already cooked, but it's like there's no more debate. He had what, five concussions, six concussions already.
Yeah, he's had too many.
It's like he's gonna come out in like a wheelchair because he can't walk anymore.
hmm Yeah, I think if I were them, honestly, as much as there was all that stuff going on with Shadur and the draft, if he's there at the fourth round, fifth round, and you're Miami and you have Tua as your starter, I don't see why not. Just take the chance. It's like
Yeah,
value is too great. You're probably going to need a quarterback at some point. I don't know if too many people have faith in Tua, to play at a high level anymore or even stay healthy. He's probably going to retire pretty young. So yeah, Miami, don't know what they're doing. Pittsburgh, I like the move. I think it does help them in a spot where they really needed help. Um, so yeah, I think Pittsburgh would probably get like I'd probably give that like a B plus for Pittsburgh. I'd probably give it like a B for Miami, just because I do like Minka.
Yeah. I feel like what the Dolphins should do is try to flip Tyreek Hill. They're not going to win right now. They know they aren't. Jalen Waddle's still young. He's not the youngest. He's like what, five years in the NFL now?
I
Four?
think he's like 25 or something,
Yeah,
26.
so he's still young. So I feel like they should just flip Tyreek, get the drama out of there, get some picks or a good play in return, and do what the Jazz are doing right now, like in the best, like just restart. If you're not going
Hmm.
to win now, what's the point of being mediocre?
Yeah, so
It's
they're
like
just going to be at the bottom of the division for probably a while. The Bills are going to be at the top just because of Josh Allen, and the Patriots are just they keep getting better throughout the offseason. Drake May is going to keep growing, so they're going to be battling with the Bills. And the Jets, who knows? Maybe things do go right with the Jets with Aaron Glenn, so there's some potential there. Miami looks like they're at like the shortest end of the stick when it comes to the
yeah.
whole division. So if I were them, I'd just hit the restart button. You have vets on your team, aging vets that other competitive teams could use. Do something because you guys are not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon, at least in my opinion.
To be completely honest, Arch Manning low boys in this draft class might as well just tank.
If you can tank for Arch Manning, that now we're talking. Like that's one way to restart, or
It's
at
like
least start a rebuild.
it's like teams already know you're last in the division. You're already expected to bad, so just do worse than what you're expected to do. Because no one's expecting you to win. Like who actually thinks the Dolphins? Like even Dolphins fans know you're not gonna win.
Hmm.
So
If there's one area you don't want to be in sports, it's like
that middle
in the
ground.
middle.
Yeah.
You either want to be great and be competitive trying to win championships, or you just want to be complete ass to get yourself some superstars in the draft. If you're always one of those teams who's like fighting for playoff position, like almost like the Steelers in these like recent, I don't know, like 10-ish years or so, it's like they're good, but they're not, we know they're not good enough to win a Super Bowl, but they're not ass enough to get like a top five pick. They're
They're
always just
just
going to be like
mid. It's like
hovering.
9-8, 9-8, 10 and
Exactly.
7. Like
It's like that's great. You're winning games, and it adds to, I guess, Mike Tomlin's legacy. But in a way, it's like, where's the direction? You're not. We know you're not going to win anything, and if that's what this is all about is winning championships, then I think it's stupid. So if I were them, I probably would have got rid of Mike Tomlin. As much as he's like a Hall of Fame coach, it's like you're not
I feel
helping
like
push
they
the
just don't do
organization.
that out of respect for what they have out of him. If he was any other coach, he would have been long gone by now. It's
Yeah,
like
I mean
Mike
he's
Vrabel got
great.
fired, it's like I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean he's great, and I'm not saying like fire him because he's ass or anything. It's like I fire him because he's too good for your ass team. You know what I mean? He's not gonna help you push the organization to where like the Chiefs are, or you know the Bills, I guess in a way, or the Bengals or something. Even though they haven't won either, but they're more competitive. They've been in the freaking Super Bowl at least.
Yeah. But moving on from this, how do you think this affects the Steelers? You think they're contenders or no?
Um, No, I mean they just Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. They're not going to win a Super Bowl with him. And I'm not one of those Aaron Rodgers haters. I don't love him either, but if he's your quarterback going into the season, I don't care how good your team is. A 40-year-old version of him, yeah, I don't buy it at all. They're not going to win anything, and they're in a really tough division. I could honestly see Aaron Rodgers getting like the shit kicked out of him by week 2 and just being done for the season.
Within that division again, they have the Bengals, the Ravens, and who else?
The Browns.
The Browns.
And now, yeah, you're seeing freaking Miles Garrett, who's the other edge rusher they just got? Isn't it? Didn't they just get someone else? I'm forgetting. I'm like brain farting.
Yeah.
Um, Either way, Miles Garrett's gonna kill Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, I don't see it going too well for the Steelers. I think that division belongs to probably, the Bengals or the Ravens first, then the Bengals most likely.
Yeah.
So
Who do you have as your top three Super Bowl contenders moving on from now?
With everything like happened in the off season so far, and where like today, if you're asking me that question, I'd probably say the Ravens are up there. I think the Eagles are good, but I think they just lost too many guys for me to be comfortable saying, that they're going to be at the top. I feel like the Chiefs, sadly for me, I don't like the Chiefs, but they're always going to be in the conversation. I think the Bills got better. They're going to be in the conversation. So I'd probably say Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, kind of generic answer. Um, but they're just the best in the league. What
Yeah,
about you?
I wouldn't say the Bills. I can't trust the Bills in the playoffs, so I can't say they're gonna be a Super Bowl team. I would replace them and put the Lions.
Yeah, that's one team I forgot to mention as well. I like the Lions a lot. Good coaching, good talent. They lost some guys too, and I want to see. The reason I didn't put them in is because I do want to see how they're gonna be with a different offensive coordinator and a different defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Because losing those two things is it could be a big deal. They might not be the same type of team, so I think they're too much of a question mark for me to put them at the top.
I was reading reports though where like the players said that they're more comfortable this year than they were last year. I don't know because they
Mhm.
said they have more chemistry, they have this or that. So just going off what like once your players are confident, that's all you really need because I feel like that's one of the most important things like in football is confidence. And they said
Yeah,
more of that this year than they had last year. They kept their star players and what's the name of the defensive end who got hurt last year? And they're
Aiden Hutchinson.
Hutchinson. Like he's gonna be back last year, and they're already one of the best teams without him. So it's just like if he can stay healthy, I feel like they could win it all.
Yeah, I mean, their offense is still going to be great. I think their defense is a thing that I'm like, I want to see how their defense is going to look.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, they have the talent. They can definitely win a Super Bowl. So I'd probably put them at like that fourth spot, maybe battling with like the Chiefs for that third spot, actually. Um, so yeah, I like the Lions going into the year.
I would put Ravens at one, Chiefs at two, Lions at three.
I think so. I don't know. I like the Bills, man. I think the Bills are going to be good.
Josh Allen's a fluke. Can't perform in the playoffs.
I mean, hey, you can say you can't perform in the playoffs until he does perform in the playoffs and wins a Super Bowl. Like that's just how it is. You're always gonna have that title until you win it. It's like is Burrow flop in the play? Like Burrow's always good in the playoffs. It's just he doesn't win. Um, so I don't think Josh Allen's a fluke. I think the dude's a superstar. I just think at
It's
times he
just like
tries to be too much of like a superhero and tries to do it all himself. I think that's his one issue.
yeah, I feel like he's just a better Dak Prescott.
I mean, he's definitely better than Dak Prescott. I think he's like Aaron Rodgers level, like prime Aaron Rodgers level. And Aaron Rodgers won one Super Bowl. I think that could happen with Josh
What I'm
Allen.
saying is like Aaron Rodgers played good in the playoffs and won.
Aaron Rodgers was like, in the playoffs. I wouldn't say he was great.
I'm saying prime. After that one Super Bowl year, like 2 years after that, then the regress already happened.
I think he's pretty much on par with like a prime Aaron Rodgers at this point. He just needs to win that one Super Bowl.
I have to say though, if Mahomes didn't play for the Chiefs, then he would have came out already. That's
I mean,
not
yeah, and I'm not even gonna hate on it either, just because we've seen the games, bro, between Buffalo and Kansas City in the playoffs. And I'm not blind. I know you're not blind. The audience isn't blind. There's some tomfoolery going on with the refs. We all know it. So I'm not gonna put it all on Josh Allen for losing games. There is some things going on behind the scenes, bro, that I
you're
can't
just
say for
coping,
sure.
bro. Stop it. You're coping.
No, I'm not coping. I'm not a Bills fan. I could care less about Buffalo. I'm just
Yeah, but
as a
the hatred you
unbiased
have for the
fan.
Chiefs though,
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Chiefs because they cheat. That's the whole reason. That's why I don't like them. I don't like them because they're good. I don't like them because they cheat.
bro, your favorite team of all time and best quarterback of all time cheated.
No, that was unproven.
No, he himself said that it was true.
Well, which one are you talking about?
The deflated ball.
That's not cheating. That's not cheating. Deflating a ball is cheating,
Bro, you know how much easier it is to catch a football when it's deflated?
bro. The Colts had the same deflated balls. They caught just as easy as we did. The ground was even. Yeah, so it's like the same.
It's
Let's say
this,
the
bro. They
same,
switch the footballs every like down or no
but it was
every
all the
possession.
balls were deflated. They said all of them. So we were all using the same balls. So the same advantage that the Patriots had was the same advantage the Colts had. They just the difference was they got their ass kicked. That's the thing.
Hey, I'm not
So no, no,
complaining.
no.
I'm
You
a
can
Brady
say what
fan.
you want about Spygate, and we can have a discussion. But the Flakegate, I thought most people were in agreement that's some BS. But Spygate, sure, you could say, oh, we were stealing signals and all that. But all the teams did it. We just got caught. Like that's not cheating, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That ain't cheating to me.
Bro, if you weren't a Boston fan, that would be cheating. You know how you said I was a hatred towards the Thunder? You just have too much love for the Patriots. Or no matter what they do, they're not wrong.
No, I could say, listen, they probably shouldn't have done like spying on people's things. But if everyone's doing it, you're gonna do it. The
Everyone
difference
was
is
not
that they
doing
just
that.
hate the Patriots and they just wanted to freaking make them a scapegoat.
Everyone was not doing that.
No, there's some other things that are way worse that the Patriots never did. Like the New Orleans Saints, when they did like Bounty Gate, they were putting prices on players' heads to injure them. That's cheating. You're like, yo, I'll give you 500K to go take that dude's knee out. Like that's cheating, bro. Like that's some crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not saying we don't have to cheat as bad as other teams because we already have the best quarterback of all time. So we just have to do a little bit to give us a better boost.
yeah, I'm saying, but that's saying if everyone does like when Aaron Rodgers came out and said, "Oh, I like my balls to be really overinflated," and I did that a lot of my games, and he never got caught because all the quarterbacks have their own preferences, and they're gonna get away with whatever because it's a freaking football. So I don't care. That's not cheating. Air getting out of a football is cheating.
Okay.
That's so stupid.
Hey, at the end of the day, we won. I'm happy we won. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm saying we get back to the original conversation. There's a big difference between us slightly taking some air out of some balls or something over the refs like purposely giving the Chiefs good calls to keep them in the game and things like there's a big difference between the two. Big.
I think you're generally tweaking.
I ain't tweaking, bro. I'm being dead ass, and that's the thing people aren't gonna like because they're all Patriots haters. I'm keeping it real. Deflated balls versus refs helping a team win, there's a huge difference.
I'm not a Patriots hater.
I know you're not, but you're acting like it.
How? I'm
I
a
guess what you're
realist.
saying. Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, anyways. Well, we even lost topic. We always get lost on topic. Um, how do we even get to the
About
Patriots?
because you were talking about cheating, and then I said how the past cheated.
Yeah, we got onto the Chiefs. That's why. So yeah, was there any other football news besides the stuff going on with the Steelers and the Dolphins? We mentioned
Not
Darren Waller coming out of retirement.
not
Um,
recently.
so I think that might be it for at
Who
least
do
the
you have
football
teams that you think improved?
teams that improved. I like what the Cardinals did in the offseason. I don't think it's going to like push them towards like being a contender or anything, but I thought they were moving in the right direction. So I like what the Cardinals did. The number one team for me who improved the most is obviously the Patriots, and that's not even me trying to be biased. That's
Yeah,
just like everything I saw, free agency, the draft, like all that stuff, the coaching hires and everything. The Patriots were the number one most improved team. I think, my opinion, we're going to be a double-digit win team, at least 10, maybe more wins. Especially with our. I'm not saying that
I
because
feel
we're
like that's
so
possible
good.
because of how easy our schedule is. I feel like
Yeah,
that's like in
exactly.
our
That's
favor.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm not saying we're gonna have double-digit wins because we're just so good. We are good, but mainly because of our schedule being pretty easy. So that's my number one. What about you? What are some teams you liked?
I like the past because they got Milton from the Eagles, we got Davis from the Lions, so it's just like we improved all around. We drafted well, so it's like Drake May finally should have an O line. I have to see how the O line pans out. If it got half better or a quarter better from last year, that's already significant because of how
Hmm.
tragic it was. Another team though, I have to like really think about it. Like I feel like some teams improved here and there, but like drastically improved.
Yeah, like I think teams like the Ravens and the Bills, like they got some pieces, but I don't think they were like, oh my God, they're really good now. Um, I would say I'll say this though, for the most uh like the people who fell the most, the teams who like dropped, my opinion, I think the Bengals, bro, they're gonna have a rough season.
Yeah,
I have
bro.
no faith in the Bengals.
The Bengals, they're one good defensive piece because they didn't have any. It's not playing. Now they draft one to replace him. They can't get his contract signed. So you waste a
For real.
top 10 pick, you lose your best defender. Like what? And it's
Yeah.
now it's like now you're going up against teams who are getting better defensive ends for you. So it's like, what are you gonna do now? Teams are planning
That's
to
it.
stop you on offense. You can't stop them on defense. It's just like,
Yeah, so it's everything to do with their defense. It's just atrocious. And they're in a division that's already competitive enough, all with pretty good defenses. You're facing a Steelers defense, you're facing a Ravens defense, or even the Browns. The Browns might
no,
be
the
like the
Ravens
worst.
are also the sleeper with Jair. I think that helps them a lot. It's not a
Yeah.
drastic like the past, but it's like stuff like that. I think that helps them a lot. Because now team
Hmm.
against like the Chiefs, let's say, or the Bills who they have to play in the playoffs. That's something that was like a little like hurt them because they had the worst pass defense. Every time they play the Bengals, I had Jamar Chase last year. He got at least 35 from me. One game he got 50.
Hmm.
So it's like getting him closes, not closes, but it helps shut down the pass. And then it closes like Josh Allen's run game and stuff like that because now they have better pass defense.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are going to be in for a rough season. I think offensively they're going to probably have some big games, but at the same time, that defense is going to let up a ton of points. And you're really asking Joe Burrow to like
He has to
step it
perform
up.
even better than last year. And like last year's
Exactly.
already a great, like what he had, what, 5,000 yards?
Yeah, something like that. You're just asking too much of him now. It's like he's giving you top tier performance week after week, pretty much. And now you're like, yo, you have to do even better because our defense is just atrocious. We have no, like, they have like no names anymore. Like, they're Jermaine Pratt, their best linebackers gone. Their corners, I think they look like Mike Hilton might have been their best corner. He's gone, I think. Um, Trey Hendrickson isn't signed. He's like holding out. Their rookie doesn't want to freaking sign. I don't know what the hell's going on in Cincinnati, bro. They need to just pay their dues.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Just give the guy the full guarantee because Trey, he's too expensive right now. So you're not gonna get him since you're already cheap. Just pay a rookie in full and get the guy. It's like, bro, I know that they just have to pay Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar, but it's like, bro, there's a whole nother side of football. It's just like
Yeah.
basketball. You can't put someone top five if they don't have the other side of the game. It's like if you don't have the
Hmm.
other side of the field, who's gonna take you serious?
Yeah, it's like the sports where like both offensive and defense is involved for like one player. You can't just be so good on offense and expect you're going to win a championship. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't happen in sports. If you're playing the offense and defense at the same time, you need to be good on both sides to win. That's it. Like the Eagles this year, great offense, even better defense. Like they're just fully well equipped to deal with whatever is thrown at them. So that's why, like, yeah, teams like the Bengals, they're fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, but they're not serious, in my opinion, to win anything just because there's no defense.
Yeah. Um, Another team that I think is gonna be overrated. I think the Cowboys. I don't think George Pickens really helped them that much.
Cowboy, I mean, hey, if you want to get someone to hate on the Cowboys, I'm your guy. Like the Cowboys suck. They always suck. They're only going to be good when Jerry Jones is dead in the ground. I'm sorry to say, but you need to put that dude like 6 feet under, get him out away from that organization, and then maybe they'll start being good again. Um, the dudes this guy hires to coach, the players they bring in, it's like I like George Pickens. He's a good talent, but the dude's a straight diva. You're just bringing trouble into your team. It's like, don't haven't you dealt with that enough over your history being the Cowboys? Just this drama. Like, do you really want more of that? So they're just gonna get what's coming to them. They're gonna suck again. The Eagles are gonna kill them in the division, um, and then the Commanders are gonna kill them in the division too, especially. So Cowboys are gonna suck, and they have like no cap space either to make changes. They pay too much money to Dak. They're done. I hate the Cowboys.
I feel like not a team that could be contenders, but a sleeper is the Rams. They can make a deep playoff run.
Yeah, I think their defense is okay. I think they have good young pieces there, especially after dealing with Donald retiring. But getting Devontae Adams, pairing him up with a guy like Matt Stafford, I have a feeling they're gonna have a pretty good connection.
It's like you
So
have Puka on one side, Devontae on the other. You have Williams running the ball. So it's just like they have all aspects and they have a decent defense. Like if you give the Bengals the Rams defense, they're a Super Bowl contending team.
hmm Yeah, I think also too, now that you mention it, I think another team that kind of regressed a lot was the 49ers. I mean, they lost Debo. Not that Debo was that great to begin with, but he's gone. McCaffrey's coming back from being injured. Who knows what's going to happen with him? They lost a bunch of defensive pieces, like Dre Greenlaw was one. The safety, I forget what his name is. He has like that Hawaiian-ish name. It's like Halafunga, whatever. I think he's out of there. So yeah, I don't and Ayuk is also hurt until like mid to late season they'll come back. So I think the 49ers are going to be really, really bad next year.
Yeah. I think those are like the major like teams that I could think of that like I think changed good or bad. I'm trying to think of other teams.
I actually do think a team that took a step in the right direction, at least they're going to be a lot better than last year, is the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to be pretty decent. I think Geno Smith is a
Yeah.
good quarterback. You now have Janty as your running back. You have Pete Carroll as your head coach. They're going to be a lot better than they were next year. So I like what the Raiders did.
I want to see how the Bears perform though with the Lions OC coaching, and I want to see if Caleb actually pans out or if he was just a bust.
I think if Caleb can be the quarterback like he was in college, and he can, he's a winning guy. That team they put around him is legit. Like they
Yeah.
really went in on this offseason to give him like pieces to work with,
There's like
especially on
no excuse
offense.
like whatsoever now.
Oh yeah, if they flop this year, I know they're in a tough division, but if they flop and don't make the playoffs, man, I don't know how it's gonna go with the Bears because they put a good team around Caleb.
Yeah. But wrapping this up, I think that's all we have for today on our sleeper contenders, pretenders, and just teams that we think made a difference in the offseason.
hmm All right, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.
Have a good day, y'all.